This market, it's sucking wind. The fall pullback has started, but there are some strong headwinds in this marketplace thanks to the interest rates. This market did not materialize how we all thought it would. And it's not just here. Did you see the anemic sales forecast for the housing market in the United States? We haven't seen these types of sales levels since 1997. There's a lot to unpack here. In this video, we're going to go over the single-family and condo markets in the state of Massachusetts. We're also going to do a quick interest rate update, and we're going to talk about some relevant current events. Hey, it's Jeff Chubb. I'm a recovering investment banker, turned real estate agent, and real estate investor that's sold more than 1,000 houses. If you have any questions in regards to real estate, then know I'm here to help. Now, a client of ours just bought a house using the purchase power plan. He ended up spending $3,500 on our real estate services when buying a house. This is compared to the 2.5% of $500,000 or $12,500 that he would have paid for a traditional buyer agency model. He saved $9,000. I want to save thousands, possibly tens of thousands of your home purchase. Then reach out. Let's talk about the purchase power plan. Let's jump into the single family market stats. It's official. The fall pullback is here. Inventory levels started pulling back in the single family market, and now the condo market has followed. We now have 5,674 single family homes on the market. This is 2% fewer homes than on the market just 28 days ago. But here's what's crazy. Even though inventory levels went down, the market actually improved and really continued to improve for buyers. I think this could be a rather tough 4 or 5 months of the real estate market without that interest rate cut bailout. The gap between 2023 tightened while it widened when compared to the inventory levels of 2022. We now have 941 more houses on the market when compared to the same week last year. This is down from 1,036 units last week. So another week and another big drop. And we now have 257 more houses on the market when compared to 2022. We listed 905 single-family houses this week, which is compared to 840 this week last year. This means that we were 65 units or 7.7% higher than the levels we saw back in 2023. Very similar to last week as we listed 66 units or 7.4% higher. The 4-week rolling average, that's 1,060 units. Under agreements, they fell slightly this week compared to last week, but we're still higher than what we saw in 2023. This week, we put 964 single-family homes under agreement. This is 104 units, or 12.1% more than the same week last year. We put 860 houses under agreement. That 4-week rolling average, that's 1,025 units. So when compared to last year's market, new listings were up by 7.7%, while under agreements, they were up by 12.1%. The pending to new listing ratio fell this week. The ratio of 96.3% is compared to the 92% that we saw this week last year. What this means is that a little over 96% of all the properties that came on the market just 2 weeks ago went under agreement last week. There were 707 single-family homes that closed last week for an average sales price of $797,000 and a median sales price of $650,000. Sales levels compared to the same week last year were down by 27 units or 3.7%, as there were 734 single-family homes that closed this week last year for an average sales price of $789,000. Months of inventory. This is how we determine what type of market we're in. 0 to 5 months, that's considered a seller's market. But the closer you get to 0, the stronger, more aggressive of a seller's market that it is. Now this week, months of inventory ticked up to 1.92 months. This 1.92 months this week is compared to 1.68 months this week last year. So the gap between this year and last year actually fell slightly from last week to 0.24 months. The market moved a little further away for sellers this week, but when compared to last year, actually became a little bit tighter. I'm telling you, if you're a buyer, and this is a phenomenal market to be a buyer in. Real quick, it's my shameless plug. I just wanted to mention that if you were thinking about buying or selling a house, then it would be a true pleasure to help you. Now, onto the condo market. We now have 3,264 condos on the market as of Monday. This means that there's 2.4% more inventory on the market today than the levels of just 28 days ago. We now have 652 more units on the market today than today last year. And this is down from last week's 652 units. We had 485 more than when compared to inventory levels of 2022 and 499 more units than compared to 2021. There are 397 condos that came on the market last week with that 4-week rolling average of 499 units. The 397 units listed was 48 units or 13.8% more than the 349 condos that came on the market this same week back in 2023. This week, we put 370 units under agreement, and this 370 condo sales is 50 units or 15.6% more than the 320 condos that we put under agreement this week last year. That 4-week rolling average, that's 392 units. So 13.8% more listings came on the market when compared to this week last year, while selling 15.6% more condos. The condo pending new listing levels have actually fallen back to what I've considered kind of the normal. This week's pendings to new listing ratio is 70.9%. This is compared to the 76.4% we saw this time last year. There were 267 condos that sold this week for an average sales price of $665,000 and a median sales price of $524,000. This same week last year, there were 313 condos that sold for an average sales price of $650,000, so sales levels were down by 14.7%. Months of inventory increased to 2.78 months this week compared to the 2.73 months that we recorded last week. This is compared to the 2.26 months of inventory levels that we had this week last year. And that year-over-year inventory level spread, that increased to 0.52 months. Any chance you can do me a huge favor? Can you hit that like button? It's right down there. Believe it or not, it just makes a huge difference to me as well as the channel. It's just plays with that YouTube algorithm. Well, subscribing if you're enjoying the content, then that one doesn't hurt either. Time to talk about interest rates, though. This continues to get worse and worse. It was another rough week on the interest rate side. They are up a lot again. In the last month, they're up well over 3/4 of a point. Are you confused? Because everyone said that interest rates were going to go down. And many of the so-called experts are still saying that interest rates are going to go down. And that's really interesting. It's important to remind everyone that the Fed and mortgage rates are not tied to one another, but they're influenced by one another. I have a serious question for you, though. And please, answer the comment section below if you know the answer. How can the Fed cut rates again in November after the 10-year yield did this the month after they cut them the last time? Take a look at that. And that is why mortgage rates have gone up so much. It's because the 10-year Treasury, which is directly tied to mortgage rates, has had a really rough month. Now ask yourself, why does the 10-year Treasury go up? There are two reasons. The first is if the markets are seeing exceptional economic growth that they believe will lead to the Fed raising rates to slow down economic output. The second is if the market is seeing or believing inflation's coming. Well, I can tell you with certainty that it isn't, because the markets believe the economy is going gangbusters. So it must be the second reason. They believe inflation's coming back. Now, I don't see there being any way that the Fed can cut interest rates in November. The real estate market isn't going to get the bailout that I thought it was going to get just a month ago. There are going to be some great opportunities out there for the buyers that are willing to swallow that interest rate pill. It's a big week. It will take a big question mark that is weighing down the market off our backs, no matter which way America votes. Want to talk about your own personal real estate needs? Again, it's Chef Chubb. Whether you're looking to buy or sell a house next night or 90 days, then I would love to chat with you and just find out a little bit more about your real estate goals. If you know of anyone that's thinking about buying or selling a house, then I truly appreciate you passing along my contact information. You can visit us at youtuberealestateagent.com or find all my contact information in the description below right down there. Until next time.